Today, introduce yourself without mentioning any name of person, any name of places, and also include your family members, and also introduce your school colleges without mentioning place.
Okay, sir.
Hmm.
I am a boy, sir. I am 26 years old, and I have done my graduation and post. What, sir?
नेम नेम कैसे बताओगे अपना? बहुत आसान है तुम्हारे लिए, तो हम लोग के लिए कठिन है।
नेम तो
कठिन।
बता सकते हैं सर, मतलब कि सिर्फ एक्सप्लेनेशन ही देनी है सर नेम में तो।
अब जब हमने ये स्पेशलाइज कर दिया हुआ है कि विदाउट मेंशनिंग एनी नेम ऑफ पर्सन, एनी नेम ऑफ प्लेस, तो डेफिनेटली आपको उससे रिलेटेड चीजें बतानी, ताकि आदमी को क्लू मिल सके। अब जैसे मेरा नाम नितिन
ओके
जायसवाल
सर।
है, तो मैं बोलूंगा
ओके
कि माई नेम इज सेम एज मिस्टर दैट मिनिस्ट्री, दैट मिनिस्टर्स एंड दैट, हो जाएगा। वैसे
ओके
करिए,
सर।
आपका इजी है।
Now I understood the question, sir. Yes.
स्टार्ट से कर लो।
So, okay, sir. My name is
स्टार्टिंग में केवल दो चीजें बोली गई थी कि किसी पर्सन का नाम नहीं लेना है और किसी प्लेस का नाम नहीं लेना है। लास्टली यू आर
Okay,
नॉट मेंशनिंग योर गेम, योर इंटरेस्ट आल्सो। लिसन
Sir,
लिसन केयरफुली। ओनली ट्राई टू हाइड name of any person, your name, your father's name, any name, and college name,
okay, sir.
college place,
Okay, sir.
नेटिव प्लेस, और फिर इसके बाद स्टार्ट कर दीजिए, कोई दिक्कत नहीं है। आप बीएससी बता सकते हैं, एमएससी बता सकते हैं, ज्योग्राफी का नाम ले सकते हैं, कोई इशू नहीं है वहां पर। अपनी आइडेंटिटी अगर हाइड करनी है तो आपको अपना नाम और पता छुपाना होगा, आपको अपने फादर का नाम और पता छुपाना होगा। इस थीम पर बेस्ड है ये क्वेश्चन, ठीक है। अब हम फिर से पूछेंगे और आपको अब की बार एकदम बुल्स आई पे हिट करना है।
Include watching and playing football and reading some non-fiction books.
Okay. Now it's perfect. Now tell me some names of foreign intelligence agencies.
Okay, sir. Mossad, MI6, CIA.
No, wait. Mossad country, MI6 country.
Mossad is from Israel, sir.
Hmm.
MI6 for United Kingdom and CIA for United States of America.
Only three. Tell me I'll date six.
And sir, ISI from Pakistan.
Yes.
Sir, I can recall KGB from Russia, but later it was dissolved and some new organization has come up, but I'm not able to recall its name, sir.
It's all right. KGB, it's good. It's okay.
Yes, sir.
And Chinese?
Sir, I'm not aware of the Chinese intelligence organization's name, but I have read that. I have read about it, sir, but I cannot recall the name.
And
Yes, sir.
you visited it.
Yes, sir.
तो अगर हम बात करें कि इन सभी और इंक्लूडिंग इंडिया इंटेलिजेंस एजेंसी, आप रैंक 1 पे किसको रखना चाहेंगे, किसको, किसकी कहानियां में सबसे ज्यादा रोमांचक होती है?
Sir, can you repeat the question, please, sir?
Yes, including Indian intelligence agencies and all those agencies you have mentioned as a foreign intelligence agency, which one comes in your mind in first in terms of वो कहेंगे ना, रोमांच बहुत है, बहुत अच्छी, उसकी कहानियां हमें बहुत पसंद आती है, उन्होंने बहुत अच्छा काम किया। तो फर्स्ट पे कौन है, सेकंड पे कौन है, थर्ड पे कौन है?
Okay, sir. Firstly, I would like to place our own intelligence agencies because I have read about them extensively and they have done a tremendous and incredible job towards the national security interests of India, sir. Intelligence Bureau and Research and Analysis Wing, sir.
Okay.
Both of them, sir. At second, sir, I would like to place Mossad from Israel. I have read about some of their operations and they were incredible, sir. and the organization itself is really organized. Third, I would like to place Sir CIF from USA, sir.
Okay. Now tell me some operations successfully done by our external intelligence agency, that is research and analysis team, R&A.
Sir, the most prominent I can recall at this moment was the operation, sir, around a detection of the nuclear development in Pakistan. So our agents, sir, they were well placed in Pakistan, and they were able to
Name
get the nuclear.
name on that place in Pakistan where nuclear program was running.
Sir, it was Kahuta, sir.
Yes, yes, fine. No.
So our agents were able to not only determine the nuclear progress in Pakistan through analyzing the hair samples in salons, where the nuclear scientists used to visit for haircut, but also they were able to get the blueprints really successfully and pass on to India, sir.
But
So this is one of the most tremendous
Okay.
operations of India, which was really successful, sir.
कहूटा में जो चल रहा था उसको R&AW ने डिकोड कर लिया था, और फिर इसके बाद एक बहुत ही शर्मनाक घटना हुई है अपने इंडिया में R&AW के साथ। वो बताइए वो क्या हुआ था।
Yes, sir. So our the then Prime Minister, Sir Morarji Desai, sir, he called his counterpart in Pakistan, and he revealed actually that we are aware of the developments, the nuclear developments in the Pakistan. So this particular thing led Pakistan to get a hint that R&AW members are very much present in their nation, and they launched a nationwide campaign to eliminate our intelligence officers, and several of them were executed, though no official reports have been released around it, sir.
और ऐसे कितने प्रधानमंत्री हुए अभी तक जिन्होंने R&AW को डिसॉल्व करने का पूरा प्लान बनाया था, इंक्लूडिंग मिस्टर मोरारजी देसाई?
Sir, other than Morarji Desai, I think Mrs. Indira Gandhi was not really in favor of R&AW, and also Mr. Rajiv Gandhi was also had this type of inclination, sir.
Okay. How much it is important to be a nuclear state for a sovereign country? हिंदी में, किसी भी सोवरेन कंट्री को परमाणु शक्ति से संपन्न होना कितना कंपलसरी है, कितना अनिवार्य है?
Sir, starting from history, the nuclear development resulted in bringing down an end to the World War II when USA dropped nuclear arms. But later on, sir, nuclear power was furthermore used to produce green energy, as we can see, sir. Power production using non-renewable fuels cause a lot of pollution. Yes, sir.
I am just talking about having new weapons, not in
New weapons, sir.
Yes. उस टर्म में बताइए.
All right, sir. Okay, sir. So, sir, nuclear weapons in the Cold War era, sir, there was a huge proliferation in nuclear weapons, particularly between USA and Russia. But in the growth trajectory, sir, it is really important to have nuclear weapons, not to actually destroy, but to use it as a deterrent, so no other country can pose a threat to us in case a war happens, sir. So in that instance, sir, it is really necessary. But as far as usage is concerned, India's position is clear that we won't first strike, but use it as a deterrent only, sir.
Okay. Now come to J&K militancy issue. ठीक है, अभी जो मिलिटेंसी का इशू है, इस पर मेरे जो कुछ सवाल हैं, आप सीधा वहीं पर जवाब दीजिए। मेरे सवाल ये हैं कि ये जो मिलिटेंसी स्टार्ट हुई है, इसके पीछे का पर्पज क्या है, कौन लोग हैं, और इसका जो पर्पज है वो क्या है, और जो मोडस ऑफ ऑपरेंडी है वो क्या है, और हमारी जो इंडियन आर्मी थी, प्योर इंडियन आर्मी, नॉट एनी स्पेशल बटालियन, एनी स्पेशल यूनिट, उसने इसको काउंटर क्यों नहीं किया? हमें अलग से एक नई यूनिट क्यों बनानी पड़ी? CICT के लिए, काउंटर इंसर्जेंसी और काउंटर टेररिज्म के लिए हमें एक स्पेशल बनानी पड़ी, और उस स्पेशल यूनिट के साथ other forces like CAPF are involved, and J&K state police services are involved to eradicate CI and CT movements, in CI and CT operations to eradicate insurgency. आप क्वेश्चन को समझ चुके होंगे?
Yes, sir.
ठीक है, तो जो शुरू वाला हिस्टोरिकल पार्ट है वो थोड़ा सा बताइएगा। इंटरेस्टेड मैं ये जानने में हूँ कि इंडियन आर्मी से काम क्यों नहीं करवाया गया, स्पेशल ऑपरेशन वाली फोर्स क्यों यूनिट को बनाया गया, जिसका नाम है, हिंट दे दे रहे हैं आपको, राष्ट्रीय राइफल्स।
Okay, sir. So, sir, first of all, sir, as soon as the partition happened, sir, Pakistan, through using its military, promoted certain tribal groups to invade the Kashmir, which was then ruled by a Hindu ruler, but the Kashmir originally had a lot of Muslim population. So it took over the area of which we now call Pakistan occupied Kashmir. At that time, sir, Raja Hari Singh signed the instrument of accession. So then Indian army moved into the territory and saved the entire parts of Kashmir and Jammu, sir. So their mode of operation, sir, they want to subvert and sabotage the local population and take over the entire Kashmir region, sir, including Ladakh as well. So their modus operandi consists of not only sending insurgents, which are specifically trained by ISI, using several terrorist agencies such as Jaish-e-Mohammed and Lashkar-e-Taiba, which have their bases right across the borders in Pakistani territory, but also to recruit the youth of the Kashmir through brainwashing them, and also using them as sleeper cells, so that if any terrorist event has to be organized, they can call them and use them to operate for them, sir. This is mainly done to not only promote terrorism, but also keep India at its toes, and to gain an advantage, a regional advantage, telling the Kashmiri people that Pakistan is very much a part of the Kashmir is very much a part of Pakistan, and they are fighting for their independence, sir.
Stop. But now come to the main point. Why Indian Army was not deployed to hit them inside the whole territory of J&K?
Okay, sir. I have not read specifically about this particular, sir, but the reasons I can think of is that Indian Army was not very popular in Kashmir due to in the Kashmir region alone, sir, due to the overlying and popular fact spread by Pakistan and ISI that India has occupied the Kashmir area forcefully, and that the Pakistani and the ISI, through the help of local leaders, are trying to wage a war against the occupants, which are Indian Army, sir. So I think.
Stop. Now come to CAPF. Who are CAPF?
Okay, sir. CAPF, sir, refers to Central Armed Police Forces. So, sir, these are this is a specified force which includes a lot of forces in itself, which are designated certain territories and certain objectives, sir. Depending on the objectives, sir, they are given, sir, their names, sir.
Okay. Tell them names and how many are included in CAPF.
Sir, I'm not sure about the exact number, but can I name as much as I can recall, sir?
Okay, permitted.
Okay, sir. So the ones I can think of, sir, are ITBP, which is Indo-Tibetan Border Police.
Okay.
CRPF, sir, Central Reserve Police Force. Sir, SSB, sir, Sashastra Seema Bal. AR, sir, Assam Rifles.
No, not. They are not CAPF.
Okay, sir. Sir, only these I can recall at this moment.
Okay. Other one is BSF and CISF.
Yes, sir.
Hmm. And what is the basic difference between paramilitary forces and CAPF, that is Central Armed Police Forces? And also you can include Indian Army. What is the basic difference of among these tribes?
Sir, the main objective of the Indian Army is to defend the territorial borders and the border areas of the country, and to protect the territorial integrity of the nation. The CAPFs are particularly, as it consists of a lot of organizations, so they have varied of objectives, sir. And so they were formed based on these objectives itself, sir. Sir, paramilitary forces, sir, I am not aware in detail, sir.
Okay. Your answer for Indian Army is also not satisfactory, and even also in CAPF. That's why I am not asking the all job roles of CAPF to you.
I'm sorry, sir. I'll read a bit more after this interview, sir. Definitely.
Okay. And tell me some special commando forces related to Indian Army, not to CAPF.
I'm sorry, sir. I haven't read about this, sir. I'm not aware about the special forces, and particularly for Indian Army, sir.
Okay. Special forces पैरा से बोल सकते थे, पैरा कमांडोज बोल सकते थे, 2 यूनिट थी.
Okay, sir. Yes, sir. I haven't read about these, sir. Yes, sir. I know about, sir. I know about, sir, only Cobra and Marcos from Navy, sir. Only these I have read.
Cobras are trained equivalent with Marcos, but Cobra related to CRPF, that are CAPFs, but Marcos
Yes,
related to Navy and equivalent
Yes,
to
sir.
Navy SEALs Commando of the USA.
Right, sir.
And if we talk about all commando forces of CAPF, then CISF has Ninja Commando, NINJ, and BSF
Okay, sir.
has Crocodile Commando to protect our
Okay, sir.
Kaksh run of Kaksh in Gujarat.
Okay, sir.
And CRPF has Cobra Commando Battalion for resolute action to counter Naxalism, and also a special unit named as Rapid Action Force. ये आपका राइट्स कंट्रोल करने का है. और ITBP की स्पेशल हिमवीर बटालियन है, हिमवीर. एंड SSB के स्पेशल कमांडोज हैं, उनका कोई स्पेशलाइज्ड नेम नहीं है, बट SSB is the only CAPF which is also for responsible gathering intelligence, because earlier it was a pure intelligence agency. So it is very important for IB ACIU candidates appearing in interview. So must
Okay, sir.
read about SSB going to its official website.
Okay, sir. Sure.
Okay. पिछले कुछ सालों से हम ये देख रहे हैं कि क्रिमिनल बैकग्राउंड वाले या जो क्रिमिनल एक्टिविटी में इन्वॉल्व हैं, ऐसे नेता पार्लियामेंट्स में और असेंबलीज में भरे पड़े. मोर देन 65 to 70% ऐसे ही लोग हैं. शिक्षक, इंजीनियर, वैज्ञानिक, डॉक्टर्स, इस तरह के लोगों की जनसंख्या बहुत कम है, 1% या 2%. तो इसका क्या कारण है? राजनीति सिर्फ गंदे लोगों के लिए ही बनी है?
Sir, criminalization of politics has been a major news which has been there for quite some time in as far as Indian democracy is concerned, sir. So the main reason is that, sir, Indian democracy is being elected by people, sir, who are not really educated as far as elections is concerned. So in the regional areas, sir, these people possess a lot of money and muscle power, and they use their influence not only to gain tickets from the regional parties, but also to get elected and move voters in their favor, sir. So this is the reason they have been prominent and they are still prominent in the Indian politics, sir.
So, what are the solutions to remove them from parliament and assemblies, and वहां पर उनकी जगह पर हाईली एजुकेटेड पर्सन्स को और हाईली सोशली एजुकेटेड पर्सन को लाया जाए?
Sir, first of all, sir, Election Commission of India has taken a lot of steps to not only curb this problem, but also to have voters significantly informed about such candidates. So this involves, sir, a compulsory notice on parties to reveal all the details of their candidates, including the criminal antecedents, and if at all there are certain pending cases against them.
Okay.
So this is to be.
I got that you want some solution from Election Commission, and now come to the another angle. As a citizen, as a responsible citizen, what should we do?
Sir, we as voters have the final say in who will we get elected from our seat, sir. So as a responsible voter, we should get informed, sir, about who all are the candidates and what are their historical backgrounds, including the criminal antecedents, sir, and should not get moved by muscle or money power, sir, and which also leads to a lot of corruption in future, sir. So as a responsible citizen, we should be responsible voters as well.
But parliament and assemblies are fulfilled with such type of guys, such type of members, which are criminals or criminal background or criminal charges are active on them. और ये सभी लोग जनता के द्वारा ही चुन के जाते हैं, तो हम मान लें कि जनता ने एक्सेप्ट कर लिया है कि गुंडे टाइप के लोगों को ही राजनीति करने का राइट है, क्योंकि जनता चुन करके भेजती है। तो इसमें जनता का पूरा रोल है, जनता ने एक्सेप्ट कर लिया है कि राजनीति सिर्फ गंदे लोगों के लिए ही बनेगी। बताइए।
I think, sir, education and literacy can play a big role as far as reducing criminalization of politics is concerned. Example can be taken from, sir, New Delhi, where Aam Aadmi Party government has successfully formed government twice. So the Aam Aadmi Party leaders and the ministers, they are, sir, mostly all clear and they do not have any criminal antecedents. So this can be one thing which can be attributed to a lot of awareness and well-educated voters, sir.
Okay. So now as a citizen, for awareness, what should you do? What will you do? At एकदम आप जीरो लेवल पे, ग्राउंड लेवल पे, आप कहां से अवेयरनेस प्रोग्राम स्टार्ट करना चालू करोगे, जिससे सिटीजन्स को, या फिर जो फ्यूचर में हिंट दे रहा हूं, या फिर जो फ्यूचर में सिटीजन्स बनने वाले हैं, वो सॉरी सिटीजन तो है ही, वो वोटर बनने वाले हैं, उनको आप क्या क्या चीजें समझाने वाले हैं बता दीजिए। वैसे तो मैंने खुलासा कर ही दिया है कि क्या करना है आपको, लेकिन अब आप बता ही दीजिए।
Okay, sir. So first we can start from our family itself, sir. We should not only have healthy discussion about which government should take, which government should form government, which party should form government in the state, local and national parliaments, but also we should also talk about the various candidates which are being forwarded from various parties and their backgrounds, starting from corruption and criminal antecedents as well. So we, sir, I personally, we all have this particular conversation, and we should also include our younger siblings in this discussion so that they can become informed and aware voters when they get when they reach the age of 18 and start voting, sir. And I personally did it with my brother, and sir, I think he's a very well aware voter, sir. Also, sir, we can extend this awareness into neighborhood where we talk in a casual chit chat in evenings, and also to our relatives, sir.
I think it's not very good step. I think if someone is have awareness program like you and me, then we must go to the nearest schools, all schools, private school, government schools, and taking 10 to 15 minutes, we should deliver lectures on what increase voting percentage, on voting that person who have best backgrounds, and also with the help of collecting some chanda donations, and with the help of some big uh, व्यापारी, बिग फिशर्स, फिशर्स कह सकते हैं, या फिर बिजनेसमैन हम, तो वहां से डोनेशन लेकर के हम पंपलेट छपवाएं उनमें लोकल लेवल पर स्कूलों में, क्योंकि एक स्कूल में कुछ नहीं तो 1000, 2000, 5000 बच्चा तो रहता ही है। ये फ्यूचर में 18 इयर्स का बहुत आराम से होने वाला है, और न्यू जनरेशन में यही इंडिया को लीड करेगी। और अगर इसको इसके अधिकार पता चल गए, फंडामेंटल राइट्स, फंडामेंटल ड्यूटीज, और थोड़े बहुत आईपीसी के लॉ, थोड़े बहुत ट्रैफिक रूल्स स्कूल लेवल पर, तो ये खुद भी क्राइम कम करेंगे, और खुद क्राइम का कैसे सोल्यूशन है इसकी जानकारी होगी इनको। आई थिंक अवेयरनेस प्रोग्राम में ये सारी चीजें अगर इंक्लूड कर दिया तो सफाई एकदम नीचे वाले स्तर से होगी, और हमें 5 साल में या 6 साल में एक बहुत बेहतरीन रिजल्ट मिल जाएंगे वहां से। तो कोई भी आई थिंक इश्यू है तो आप स्कूल में जरूर जाएं, स्कूल जरूर विजिट करें। अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट का इश्यू, करप्शन रिमूवल का है, कुछ भी है, स्कूल जाने से काम सबसे पहले बनेगा।
Okay.
Now, here I have some ideologies. You have to define in a single line. Okay. Now, come to the Marxism.
Okay, sir. Marxism is taking over the resources and the production facilities from the capitalists and in the hands of the workers themselves.
Okay. Maoism.
Maoism, sir, is a violent movement which aims to topple the government order and put forward a government of the people, sir, through violent revolution, sir.
Naxalism.
Naxalism, sir, is an Indianized form of Maoism itself, sir, and they want to achieve the same thing.
Socialism.
Sir, socialism caters to removing disparity and distributing wealth and resources equally among all the populations.
Okay. And what is communism?
Okay, sir. Communism, sir, is something where all the processes and all the markets in the country are operated by the government itself and not private entities, sir.
And what is communalism?
Communalism, sir, has a religious tone, sir, and it refers to friction between the various religious entities present in an area, sir.
Okay, and what is secularism?
Sir, secularism can be defined in two ways, sir. One is that the state does not have a religion, and one, sir, the state treats all religion the same, sir, and do not compare or, sir, differentiate.
And at the last, liberalism.
Sir, liberalism is, sir, having a open approach and allowing everything, sir, which is right, sir, for humans as a whole.
Okay. Recently, Pegasus was in news. How much you know about it, and what was happening that time?
Sir, Pegasus is a espionage spyware which was developed by NSO firm of Israel, sir. So originally the firm has quoted that it sold the spyware only to the governments of sovereign nations, sovereign and responsible nations, sir.
Mhm.
So it made headlines due to a news which come up, sir, that the spyware was used not only for the security interests of India, but also it was used to spy on certain influential people, including businessmen, politicians, and judges, sir.
Okay. Okay. If government espionage its citizens, then which type of rights, that is fundamental right, is breached?
Sir, it has a chilling effect on a right to privacy, sir, which is a part of Article 21 of a right to life, sir.
Right to life and liberty.
Yes, sir.
Amit Shah recently said that police should a hand away from politicians. मतलब कि पुलिस को राजनीति से एक हाथ दूर रहना चाहिए. तो वो इस मैसेज में क्या संदेश देना चाह रहे हैं?
Sir, I am not aware about this particular statement, but sir, I think that the state police forces are controlled a lot by the state governments and state politicians, so much so that they are seen to be working directly for the political officials and government at their will and at their disposal, sir. So, if at all Mr. Amit Shah means that they should be separated and be run independently, I think it's a right statement, sir.
Okay. आपकी नजर में पुलिस रिफॉर्म्स में कौन-कौन सी चीजें रिफॉर्म्स के रूप में लानी चाहिए?
Can I think about this for a moment, sir?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Hmm.
Sir, first would be, sir, to remove the political influence and let police forces work as an independent entity, sir. Second would be to increase their remuneration and payments and to increase their benefits at par with organizations such as military and other special forces of India, sir.
Hmm.
Third, sir, a behavioral change should be established and more citizen-friendly approach should be inculcated in the police officers. As currently, sir, they are seen more as a trouble creator and not as friends and protectors of the citizens itself, sir. So these three major things I can think of.
Now, prove that you are an honest and patriotic person.
Okay, sir. Sir, as far as patriotism is concerned, sir, when a national anthem is being played or when I see our national flag unfurling, sir, I get goosebumps every time, sir. So it is a major response which comes from within as a patriotic citizen of India, sir.
And any incident that happened in your life that shows that you are a patriotic person?
Sir, yes, sir. I relayed really well, sir.
Okay.
So that was a moment where I felt not only responsible but patriotic as well, sir.
Okay. आपने रोड्स में इंडिया के ही छोटे छोटे बच्चों को, इवन कि दे आर माइनर 18 माइनर्स, वो बेगिंग करते हुए आपको मिल जाते हैं, भीख मांगते हुए. और कुछ लोग भीख नहीं मांगते, कुछ छोटी मोटी चीजें बेचते हुए नजर आते हैं जिनसे लोग सिंपैथी करके उनको पैसे दे देते हैं. वो भी भीख मांगने का एक तरीका है, चाहे धूप हो चाहे बरसात हो, नंगे पैर सड़क पर, और उनके शरीर पे चोटों के निशान रहते हैं. एक रैकेट पूरा चलता है. और सब आप भी जानते हैं, आप जब सड़क पे चलते हैं तो ये लोग आपके सामने निकलते हैं. तो बीइंग ए पैट्रियोटिक पर्सन, हैव यू एवर taken any action or not?
Okay, sir. I can recall a lot of incidences like this, sir, where I indulged with talking to the children who can talk to me, and I did ask them about what their family does and if at all they visit some government school or not, sir. So one particular instant I can recall, I was in a camp in Faridabad, sir. So there was a child who came to me begging, sir. So I asked them about his family, and he told me that his family is indulged in, sir, playing dhol at a wedding event, sir.
Yes.
But at that time, sir, his family was out of a job because it was not a wedding season, and that's why he had to come to beg to help his family, sir. So in that particular instance, I did help him with some monetary help, sir. But I do try to indulge in talk as far as the children are concerned, sir. I'm really sympathetic
Okay.
towards them.
That time you have provided only monetary help. That means some rupees. I think you have promoted their beggarship, giving some money.
Sir, I would like to, sir, reasonably disagree with this statement, sir. Sir, I did ask him if at all he visits government school, sir, and what all hardships he faces, sir. He said that he really likes going to school, but he do not have all the books, sir. So when I asked, sir, why he is begging, sir, so he said, sir, he will use the money to buy, sir, more books, sir. So I think at times, sir, we have to understand the child's innocence, sir.
आई थिंक जो रैकेट चलाते हैं वो ट्रेंड करते हैं बच्चों को कि आपको ऐसी ऐसी चीजें बतानी, तो आप तो उनके ट्रैप में फंस चुके हैं.
Sir, I think being a responsible and aware citizen, I think I can find differences between, sir, rote learned answers and behind a genuine, sir, a reasonable explanation, sir. So I was able to differentiate, sir, and he was a really genuine child, sir.
But I'm not convinced by your action that you have provided only money to that person. You have not visited his home, not visited to his parents, not visited to his schools. You don't know anything about him. Just you have promoted beggarship.
Sir, giving monetary help, I am not really into it, sir, and I do not always provide it. It was just one of the rarest incidences where I have done so, sir.
Okay.
Also, sir, at that time,
Okay.
yes, sir.
What one should do at this type of situation, as I have also told them many things, then you can elaborate all these things. What should one do if they see children's begging at roadside or any footpath side?
Sir, a first approach would be to, sir, definitely ask them some questions and inquire about if they have a family at all, and if they live with their family, and if at all they are visiting, they are into, sir, government schools and they are getting education or not. Also, if you find such children in your neighborhood or in your city itself, then of course you can take him take him with you and visit their family and talk to his parents and help them understand that government is providing a lot of care, a lot of educational opportunities, and also, sir, food and various scholarships for children free of cost. So I think it will not be.
I think you are leaving means कि आप miss कर रहे हैं बहुत से ऐसे points को, missing some points. Like there are many NGOs in every city. In every city, they are running their work for these kind of situations, that beggars, mad peoples, or etc. So you must call them and hand over them. You must call them and maintain that boys, that girls, those who are begging on the streets. Okay, it's fine. Your interview is over.
Yes, sir. This was my second point, sir. If at all we find that it is a case of human trafficking, we should definitely call NGOs and even, sir, the local police station, sir.
Okay, but I want to ask another question related to this. Is begging a crime or not in India? As अगर हम 14 साल से बच्चे छोटे बच्चों से काम कराते हैं तो वो अपने संविधान में इलीगल बताया गया है। तो 8-8 साल के 5-5 साल के बच्चे बेगिंग करते हैं सड़कों पर। तो आप इसके बारे में क्या कहना चाहेंगे?
Sir, begging as a crime, sir, would not be a right statement, sir. I think India
I think
has a lot of
crime not for that child, crime for their parents.
Okay, sir. So, sir, India has a lot of poverty, sir, and I think begging most of the times is not a choice, but a forceful obligation to feed their stomach, sir. So I think we have to take this problem in a sympathetic manner, sir. Uh, if sir, their parents are most of the time, sir, they are also begging, and they also involve their children so that they can feed their families, sir. They have a belief that as many hands are involved in this activity, they will get more, sir. So I think we should approach this in a sympathetic manner and work for their overall development, sir.
Okay.